The security specialist Will Geddes, the Defence Secretary Grant Shapps said a malign actor is behind the cyber hack of the armed forces payroll system. Who could it be?
Well, I think there's every good chance, Jane, that it is China that is behind this. The government were on the verges of revealing it was China, but it would certainly be what I would anticipate or assume to be a proxy actor. So this would likely be someone who is working externally to the CCP or to certainly any of the state agencies, because it affords for plausible deniability in the event that they are traced.
And in a statement about the cyber hack, Grant Shapps said state involvement cannot be ruled out. And as you said, he didn't name China as a suspect because of national security reasons. So could you unpack that reasoning for us?
Of course. Now, naturally, when one makes any definitive statement as to a particular state actor who may be behind what is otherwise deemed as intrusive, espionage, or even potentially sabotage, one has to be awfully careful because of the political implications that would obviously have. So it is a very subtle, a very discreet way of intonating who it might be behind it without saying definitively. So it says to the other side, we know who you are, we know who's doing this, and that hasn't gone awry or amiss on us.
And what do you think of that way of doing things from a security perspective?
I think it can be very efficient and it can be effective because ultimately you're sending a warning shot across their bows to say you have to be very cautious because we have the technology, the capability, the expertise to determine and ascertain the origin of this threat. So it's saying if you do try this again, you do try it in other capacities, then we will more than likely be able to attribute it to you. Now, this can be a precursor to possible sanctions. It could be a precursor to all sorts of political implications in terms of a trading relationship, financial relationship, or otherwise. So one has to consider that as a careful, albeit gentle nudge in their direction as to being cautious. Whether that deters China from trying to do further hacks, I'm not so sure.
And what kind of security measures can the Ministry of Defence and other government bodies take?
Well, there are many different tests. And one of the things that obviously is concerning about this most recent hacking, particularly against the payroll of servicemen and women within our armed forces, is the fact that this information was being managed by a third-party contractor. And one would certainly wish that third-party contractor to have sufficient controls and checks and balances in place to make sure that they couldn't be compromised. Now, one of the ways that this is quite often done is through penetration testing by a third party, which is to see the resilience of the controls around that data, see whether there are any areas that could be exploited, and then fundamentally find where those holes, those vulnerabilities are, remediate them, and then undertake another test.
Well, Security Specialist Will Geddes, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.